Hello, Class 621. My name is Kelly, and my project is, or the business use case for my project is the impact of genre on video game sales. The objective of this business case is to explore how different genres uh, impact sales and giving us insight into which genres are most profitable and finding out the reasons why. I'm going to do my best to not commit death by PowerPoint, so I'm not going to read you the slides, but I will point out things as we go through them. The first thing I had to contend with was finding a data set that I could use. Data sets are pretty hard to find. And the two that I found were actually industry created, and I'll put the website links down at the bottom. Upon the analysis, I found that there were missing rows and entries for critic stats and for a lot of the regional total sales. Once I was able to sort the inconsistencies and standardize all the data, I was able to create the actual genres in a table. Once I had those in a table, I was able to create formulas that would give me calculations for each genre. For example, action movies, uh, total sales, those types of formulas, which would help me create bar charts and graphs and other types of visualizations so that I can actually see what the. So from the data sets, I was actually able to create tables, which then I was able to apply formulas to, which then then gave me the ability to create this bar chart for mean distribution, and ANOVA, which is analysis of variances. It gave me the f-stat and the p-values for those. Next, I was able to create a summary of statistics, and it gave me the total sales. And with all of this, I was able to analyze and understand the central tendencies and variabilities, variables that affect the game sales across genres. And that'll make a little more sense as I go on. As I was able to develop more tables off of just the data sets, I was able to get calculations for the mean, the median, the total count, and I'm not sure what STD is right off the top of my head. It's standard deviation. Here is the median bar chart that gave us different type of distribution. We did a analysis of the means, and now the regression analysis with the ridge model. I found this one to be really interesting because if everything was all equal in all regions and everything was all equal in all genres, we wouldn't be getting a real representation of what is actually occurring, because we have things like critic stats, which is actually a very subjective variable, and then we have different uh, release dates and so on. Those types of variables aren't actually in the calculations until we start to bring them out and glean them this way. So through the ANOVA analysis, we're able to get top feature impacts and bottom feature impacts. And this is really interesting because some of the top feature impacts would be, for instance, other sales within the same genre, which actually aren't maybe video games, or uh, uh, other types of sales from a third party. Maybe one of our distributors are selling to a third party. That also has an impact on sales, which isn't in the data set. Now on the bottom, features that impact total sales would be things like what type of console would it be, on a PC or a Mac? Uh, when was how good was the publisher? Because all publishers are not created equal, just like critic stats aren't all created equal. I've also included the Python code for the creation of the top and bottom charts. Here is the regression model that gives us the visual of the different types of impacts. The top impacts are from dark blue to almost pale, and then from pale to dark red, indicating how much impact this variable had on total sales. Now, my charts and graphs are all fancy and stuff, but the limitations are the data set itself. And I faced several limitations on this, and I mentioned a few. For example, missing values in critical columns, such as the critic score. There were some regional sales figures missing, and this had me have to do what was called impugning using mean values, which I just used like an average value. And additionally, there might be some bias due to unaccounted factors. For example, we mentioned publishers. Well, what about the marketing efforts themselves? Not all marketing departments in all regions are equal. So that might have impacts that are unseen. Other factors would be uh, release dates. Were they released during holidays, or they released like in the summer when people weren't playing games as much? Those types of things limit the validity of the data sets or of the analysis. And in conclusion, the analysis may have some limitations, but it did give us some very valuable visualizations and tables that allowed us to sort the data and to see exactly how it's being used and being analyzed. Hello, Class 621. My name is Kelly, and my project is, or the business use case for my project is the impact of genre on video game sales. The objective of this business case is to explore how different genres impact sales, and giving us insight into which genres are most profitable and finding out the reasons why. I'm going to do my best to not commit death by PowerPoint, so I'm not going to read you the slides, but I will point out things as we go through them.